I think it was a combination of looking for potential support for myself as a father, but then understanding that what I had gone through was such where I would be able to help other fathers.
No sabía muy bien de qué se trataba el programa y como ya fui entrando en las juntas, vi que se trataba de cómo tratar a los hijos, cómo tratar a la familia, que no haya violencia en casa.
At first I thought I didn't need it, but as I started to interact and do things and I went to session, I found out it was exactly where I needed to be.
When we come together and we share, fathers have an opportunity to become inspired. They have an opportunity to realize that maybe where they felt like they were the only ones going through this, they see, no, there's other people going through this.
I'm sitting there, it's the first time I ever seen like a lot of grown men expressing themselves. It was a different experience for me.
Pues que se unieran al grupo, que es interesante y van a cambiar su vida.
They should join the program. If they're scared or nervous of it, just jump right in. It's very welcoming. It's more like family oriented, and I think you'll really learn a lot from it.
Hello, my name is Jessica Suarez and I'm a home visitor at Stanford. So a home visitor is a person that goes into your home and provides parent-child activities for the parent and the child, along with assuring that the child is up to date with their vaccinations, their well baby checks, any other documents that they might need.
I looked into the website and I got the phone numbers. I called the number that it said there. He gave me all the information and got me set up with a home visitor, and the process was fast. I thought it was going to take longer.
Me ayudaron en el proceso, no me dejaron sola, me dieron seguimiento y además de eso, ellas me daban todas las semanas en nuestra visita por Zoom todas las estrategias y todas las actividades que yo debía hacer con Sebastián. Y si no cuadraba o Sebastián no prestaba atención o no lográbamos lo que queríamos, me daban otras y me daban materiales y me acompañaban.
I do this work because I enjoy working with kids. I like seeing them grow. Some kids, you know, they're with me since they're in the womb until they're 3. So I get to see them grow and learn and crawl and walk and talk.
Self-regulate, it's something that she does, and the first time that she did it, I was kind of in a shock. I was having a bad day. I had told my son to do something and he didn't want to do it, and we were back and forth, and my daughter was like, "Mom." So I was like I forgot what I was saying to my son, and it was like, oh my God, she's little, she's teaching me.
Para nosotros, una de las cosas más importantes del Children, del programa, que nos ha impactado mucho y nos ha mejorado nuestra vida, es el problema que tenía Sebastián con el habla. Nosotros, como familia, pues el niño nunca decía ninguna palabra, pero Wendy siempre decía que el niño tenía que decir ciertas palabras.
Una de las cosas que nos ha ayudado el programa, ha permitido hacer actividades en casa, que las hacemos los dos, papá y mamá y hasta la abuela, incorporar canciones, que hasta en el baño se incorpore esa actividad para que el niño pueda avanzar con el lenguaje.
She just turned 2, but she speaks, she knows how to communicate, she knows how to tell when she's feeling a certain way. She's so advanced in everything that they have helped. Like, she likes to write and draw, and she says more words, she's saying more phrases, and that's something that I think the school has prepared her, and I think that by the time she goes to Head Start, she's gonna know more.
My hope for them is to be happy and to be successful and to pursue whatever brings them joy.
Where's Miss Lily? Where? I see Miss Lily is there. Is she up on the mountain? No. Down by the...
DTI is a therapeutic preschool program for kids 3 to 5 years old who are struggling in typical Head Start or daycare settings. So these are the kids who have a hard time. They struggle with separating from their caregivers when it's time to drop off. They struggle with following the routine. They have a really hard time regulating their emotions. We provide a safe therapeutic space for them to learn how to manage their emotions, to learn how to cope when things get challenging or difficult, so that they can transition and go back to typical settings where there's more kids.
For reading time, which is called bibliotherapy, we work on frustration tolerance. We work on staying in our own space, and we call it in our bubble. Circle time, it's music and movement adjunctive therapy. And we start singing songs, and yes, it models what a typical preschool classroom would be, so the kids can get used to that routine.
A lot of our kids have experienced trauma very early on. That could be they themselves experienced some form of abuse or neglect. Sometimes the trauma happens in utero, and that affects the way that their bodies are able to regulate, the way that their brain is able to process. One of the things we really focus on here is teaching the kids how to be a good friend. The kids develop so much empathy for each other, and they start helping each other.
Not only are we shifting the brains of the children, but also the parents, and really giving them new strategies, new ways to really think or perceive their child.
You know, when I started it, I was actually in a really bad place, and I was really depressed, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was having so many challenges in my personal life, I almost even went on disability.
We get clients who have dreams, they have hopes, but somewhere along the line, they've lost sight of those dreams and hopes. And so one of the things that we do, and I like to say, is we support them in really holding that hope, supporting them to reconnect to that which they desire for their life, for their families.
She made me feel very safe, and I was able to open up with a lot of very heavy personal things that were really holding me back. I had a lot of adverse childhood experiences, and one of them was like with my mother, and I felt like she never ever listened to me. And when I felt that a supervisor, for instance, didn't hear me and I would get really frustrated with something, I would end up actually quitting a job that was like really good.
I do create a care plan with them, so it's a very collaborative thing that I do. There is resume writing, cover letter writing. I support them with interview skills. So a lot of times clients will come, I've never had an interview. So sometimes I even do like mock interviews. We'll role play, and I'll teach them skills, give them feedback in real time.
I found a job with STARS Behavioral Health, and I'm a recovery counselor there now too. I assist people who come out of the hospital and are having challenges and need assistance with them. Just daily living activities and getting back on their feet so that they can go back home into the community. It feels wonderful, especially since I was working with Urshel, and she really she kind of modeled what it is to be a good counselor. And so she was really encouraging, and I really feel like I've learned so much from her, just not for myself personally, but on a professional level too, where I feel like I can create a space for somebody else, like she did for me.
Children Exposed to Violence is a program at Children's Institute with a focus on providing services for children who have experienced some type of violence.
We get the referrals from LAPD or the city attorney's office when a family or children are involved in a violent crime.
It could be any type of violence, a traumatic event, which can consist of domestic violence, hearing gunshots, having a family member get shot.
We immediately ask the families, what is your need? For example, if you need relocation assistance, we're able to help them with the process. Or if the children are struggling and they could benefit from therapy, we go ahead and link them within our program. And
so these services are for the children who experienced the violence, and a lot of symptoms such as aches and pains can come up after the event, and they go swept by as an excuse for not to go to school. There's been a lot of instances where, parents say, oh no, my kid doesn't need it, we're fine. And a few weeks later, we get a phone call where they say, no, you know what, I think my kid needs it. Sometimes the parents observe that their kid is improving, and so they say, well, maybe I need it for myself too.
So when I was living in Maryland, I was in relationship with my children's father. He would verbally abuse me, or it became to the point where it's like physical. The main concern for my youngest one was angry. He get angry easily. Tantrum, he always he don't know how to resolve sometime in mouth. He usually with his hands or he beat. But I remember since he been using the Children's Institute, he been learning meditation. So sometimes he be like, okay, mommy, so-and-so is pissing me off. I need meditate. I need to walk away. So I really saw the improvement, because my whole thing, I want them to be a healthy, men, so they will not repeat the cycle or, going out and just being like an angry adult because they didn't deal with the issues. So I was looking and research, and I think I just happened to stumble, which I'm so grateful upon this organization. I called, and then I had to meet with two lovely ladies. So they met me in that. And then from there, we end up making a Zoom meeting, for them to talk to me just to get the background. What's going on, why you want to seek the service. But the youngest one was kind of having trouble with being in the Zoom. So that's why I made it more one-on-one person able to come in the office. In African American culture, people think oh my God, therapy. How can I talk to a therapist when, nobody know me better than I know myself? But the thing about it is so many people walking with traumas, and then, you end up, affecting other people as you grow. So you need to able to find a professional who can able to help you.
My hope for the kids that I encounter is to normalize mental health services for them, that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have feelings. And my hope is that they have a great first experience, first encounter with a therapist, and hopefully, in the future, have that normalized.
I think I would describe volunteering to a friend or a stranger as something to do that's bigger than yourself and makes you really cherish, your own life and others' lives around you.
I would say the benefit of volunteering and putting your own time into a volunteer opportunity for me was the fulfillment of wanting to be with children, but it also teaches you patience and how to be accepting, caring, and loving.
I heard about the opportunity through my aunt. I had inquired a lot about what opportunities I could be a part of as a volunteer.
While I was trying to figure out how to better utilize my time outside of work, just a lot of self-reflection, and then that's how I decided to finally get into volunteering, which is something that I had been wanting to do for over a year now.
I felt that talking to the volunteer staff, I felt really good about the virtual meetings that we had over Zoom. That was a place where you could learn everything you needed to know and also ask all the questions that you had, and then going through the steps of background checks and doing training. I think I was a little bit anxious just because I wasn't exactly sure how I would respond to certain situations and stuff. Actually got into the classroom and met everyone. A lot of my anxiety went away.
I did not have any prior experience volunteering at all, let alone with children. This was my first volunteer opportunity, so a way to alleviate some of my anxiety was to basically shadow the teachers for the first few volunteer shifts that I had.
After having volunteered, I feel really great. I mean, right afterwards I felt sad because I had to leave, but then I realized that it was such an incredible experience to be a part of the community and not, at least hopefully impacted some people.
For anyone thinking of volunteering, I would say to just go into it. Just don't be afraid. It's okay to have anxiety.
Just to be able to see and hopefully make a little bit of change in someone else's life is just a really unique experience that doesn't happen often outside of volunteering.
There are things you have to do kind of correctly, and there is a protocol, but beyond that, it's actually pretty relaxing.
And CII is just an incredible organization. I think any reservation that anyone would have about volunteering just flies out the window once you actually get in there and do it.